Welcome back to the channel, Guardians. Today we are going over the brand new Strand Rocket Launcher tied to the Season 22 activities, Semiotician. This is a crafted weapon review, so expect the usual breakdown of its best rolls for PvE, intense perk testing, a personal god roll of the weapon that gets the best out of it, plus some PvP content towards the end of the video. Slap that like button if you do find this informative at any stage. Blood, sweat and tears go into the making of my videos after all. Let's begin. So, Semiotician is a Strand Rocket Launcher of the high impact frame family, obtainable in Season of the Witch activities, which can be focused at the helm vendors and craftable. Straight off the bat, the frame already presents a problem to this rocket launcher. High impacts are considered the baseline for damage stats, whilst precisions do less damage than high impacts, and on the other hand, aggressive and adaptive frame rockets do 10% more damage than the baseline. What this means is, high impacts do less damage than other more popular frames, such as the Apex Predator and Cold Comfort. Not looking good already for Semiotician. Whilst inspecting the possible rolls on this weapon, whilst the fourth column does present good PvE options, the third column, compared to other rocket launchers that can roll reconstruction or auto-loading holster, Semiotician only rolls field prep in the third. Whilst the solid option, granting 50 reload when crouched and an extra rocket in reserve, it forces a reload, whereas other rockets allow you to swap to other weapons whilst they auto-load. Apex Predator, which is an adaptive frame rocket launcher, doing 10% more damage than Semiotician alone, can roll reconstruction, loading up 2 rockets in the mag, which remains on at all times, nullifying the need to reload, allowing you to switch to other DPS weapons whilst automatically loading up rockets. The issue here is, why bother with Semiotician when there are other weapons out there that do the job 10 times better? The good thing going for Semiotician is that it is a Strand weapon, of which only 2 exist at present, one being unavailable as of the making of this video. It synergizes well with Strand damage builds like the newly discovered Foe Tracer Strand Hunter build, which can grant 25% damage to all Strand weapons when using Strand abilities, but that's about it. If you don't have Apex Predator or any decent rolled adaptive or aggressive frame rocket, Semiotician may be the rocket launcher for you. Let's take a look at its best perks in PvE, starting with the masterwork. Reload on rocket launchers is always desirable considering this particular rocket is forced to reload, so equipping reload is your best bet. The first column perk goes to quick launch. None of the first column perks grant reload benefits, so the next best thing is handling, and quick launch grants 15 to it. For column 2, it's a toss-up between 2 perks. Impact Casing grants a 2.2% damage buff to the overall damage of your rocket launcher. For example, a rocket launcher that does 100k damage would get an additional 2,200 impact damage. It's quite minimal, but when paired with field prep, it does make sense, as the reload stat of this rocket when crouched goes up to 98, nearly maxing it out. On the other hand, you have Alloy Casing, which maxes out reload, even with Bipod in the 4th column equipped, which does reduce reload speed. We'll discuss Bipod shortly. What I'm trying to say is, depending on what you're using in the 4th column, you may want to choose one or the other. We've already discussed the 3rd column. Field prep, regardless of if you choose impact casing or alloy, will max out the reload stat when crouched, granting an additional reserve rocket, 2 with the enhanced version. And finally, the 4th column presents 2 desirable PvE perks for rocket launchers, one being Explosive Light, the other being Bipod. Explosive Light may sound like the most obvious choice, however, I did my ogre testing and was quite surprised at the outcome. First of all, Bipod grants the weapon 13 total rockets with field prep, 14 with the enhanced version, dropping the damage of rockets by 25% opposed to the original 40%. On the other hand, we have Explosive Light. Picking up orbs grants stacks of damage increase, a 25% damage buff. Let's break this down. Bipod rockets do 60k per rocket, and with Bipod allowing for 2 rockets in the chamber, you can get off 2 quick rockets that do 120k damage, on top of maximum reload when crouched. Whilst Explosive Light lets off single rockets that do 103k per rocket, bearing in mind if you have the base version of the perk, only 6 of the 8 available rockets will have the 25% bonus, with the other rockets doing 82k. Although Bipod arguably takes longer to unload into the boss, it actually outdamages the Explosive Light roll by 4,000 points, although the damage phase lasted a few seconds longer. Bipod also does more burst damage than your Explosive Light roll, being able to let off 2 quick rockets in a short space of time before reloading. For me, both perks are very good, but arguably Bipod allows for a better ammo economy and wins this battle. Let me know in the comments your thoughts, and god rolls vary from player to player. The Head Rush origin trait is wasted on this weapon, which increases reload and handling when crouched for more than 2 seconds and standing up, interfering with field prep. TLDR, my god roll suggestion is the following: a reload masterwork paired with quick launch in the 1st column, followed by alloyed casing in the 2nd for that major reload boost. 3rd column goes to field prep, and finally, Bipod. You may however be wondering, is it worth masterworking? The answer is simply no. Unless you're going for a Strand weapon setup, Bipod Enhanced grants no real benefit as reload is already maxed out and blast radius doesn't really matter for this role, and to put it simply, cannot outgun the higher damaging frames. A god-rolled Apex Predator with bait and switch alongside reconstruction blows the damage of Semiotician completely out of the water. Bipod also takes 4 rockets to kill a champion in legend difficulty, and bear in mind during testing I had a ×4 strand damage plus strand overcharge modifiers active. That's effectively a third of your reserves gone on one champion. In PvE, this weapon gets a 2 out of 5 rating. Its frame alone drops its popularity and other weapons just simply roll better perks. In PvP, on the other hand, this weapon is quite strong. It has a base blast radius of 90, and maxing it out nearly guarantees a kill when firing this rocket launcher anywhere in close proximity to guardians. Assuming the weapon is at level 20, having a blast radius masterwork will max out the radius, and with quick launch, high velocity rounds, and impulse amplifier, the velocity of the projectiles go up to 66, allowing your fired rockets to travel significantly faster. With this role, it also has a very high handling stat. Although not very important, it allows to swap faster to the weapon. The only drawback is the 4th column. There is no real PvP perks here outside of Puglist and Harmony, and arguably Puglist may be better if using melee builds. In PvP, this weapon does get a 5 out of 5. It's excellent for getting kills on grouped up guardians with fast projectiles, stopping players from getting out of the way before realizing there is F all they can do. And that concludes this video. Made it to the end? Drop a like and a comment with your thoughts on this weapon, and subscribe for future content. Next up, there's more builds coming, featuring Geomag's return for Warlocks and a volatile Titan build that will get your seasonal activity clears with no sweat. I'll let you decide which one you want to see first. This was Plasma Alchemist. Your viewership is much appreciated. Until next time, see you later.
Fight forever, Guardian!